Okay, what's going on, y'all? So I want to talk about subconscious mind and Pisces again, right? Because to extend on that, we were just talking about not too long ago about the subconscious mind and words that begin with the word sub, and we was going in, right? We had a good time last time. So I was just watching a movie, right? Called The 9's. Ryan Reynolds stars in it, Melissa McCarthy, and Hope Davis. Fantastic movie. It's not too old, but it's been out for a little while now. I got it from Amazon Prime, just in case you want to know where I got it from. I downloaded it and watched it there in my downtime, right? So I'm watching this movie. Great movie to parallel to what we've been talking about, which is the subconscious mind. This movie is about the subconscious mind. This movie represents the Piscean archetype, and it can better, or should I say, further detail and clarify the things that we've been saying already. So, and it's framed beautifully. So it's also dimension jumping involved, different dimensions, people living in different dimensions. But all right, let me get to it, right? So it's like this. The movie starts out with Ryan Reynolds. He's this actor, right? And he's running through Hollywood crazy. Like, he's smoking crack, he's buying hookers, he's checking in the hotels, he's calling police, talking about he doesn't have a belly button anymore. Like, he's just bugging out, right? The shit is funny as fuck too. So he eventually gets caught up by like a publicist. The publicist gets a hold of him, whole Hollywood antics. Put him up in this house. They're like, listen, you gotta calm down. Matter of fact, in the beginning, he burnt his spouse's his girlfriend's clothes and shit in a barbecue pit, and the whole house caught on fire behind that. You know what I'm saying? So he's just in mad trouble. So this is parallel to what I've been saying in some of my Pisces videos about how in our younger years, we can become very mischievous. We can let curiosity get the best of us to where we just running around. We become very impressionable, as Hollywood actors can be. And, we just start running rampant and doing a whole bunch of stuff that is probably not to our best well-being. So this is how the movie begins with Ryan Reynolds. So again, his publicist snatches him up, puts him into this like whole restrictive thing of how talk about how Saturn cages your soul, right? Puts you in this restriction level, puts him on house arrest, pretty much puts him up in a new house, says, look, you gotta abide by these rules, X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 right? So in this instance, this is where he begins to see different versions of him, like flashing in front of his face, and like little small subtleties hinting to him that things aren't what they really seem. So this thing spirals into him getting more hints from different characters inside of the movie, right? So what happens here is, like I said before about Pisces and Pisces videos, right, that Pisces can find themselves in situations to where they get outed from. Like, people cast lots on them, right? And it's just like, oh, y'all looking at me? Oh, y'all talking about me? Oh, I'm the weird one. Oh, I'm the one who doesn't fit in. You know what I'm saying? Well, fuck y'all. And you get on your Jerry Maguire shit and be like, who's coming with me? Fuck this. I'm the shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all will see. Watch. This is kind of this is what happens in this movie. Not kind of. This is what begins to happen in this movie. So the reason why it's called the 9's is because it gets broken down to him eventually that he is a number 9. The rest of the characters, humans, are number 7s. Monkeys are 6s. Koalas are 8s above the humans in a totem pole because they can control weather and they're telepathic, right? That's pretty interesting to me as well. But, Melissa McCarthy starts breaking it down to him because he's getting hints from other characters that are competing with her for his time and attention. Okay, so breaking it down to him what a 9 is. A 9 is really the God archetype, and I guess they refrain from actually stating that concretely because they don't want the type of backlash that comes with that or whatever. But that's what and who he is. There's only one 9, and he's the only number 9 inside of the movie. And what a 9 is the creator of the universe, creator of all of the things that these other humans are participating inside of. So it's basically a software designer of the universe. You know what I'm saying? It's broken down to him that he created this thing on a whim, snap of a finger, And then when he's seen this I wouldn't call it perfection, but when he's seen his creation actualize, he started pondering and was like, I wonder what it would be like to actually participate in my own creation. You know what I'm saying? So boom, he begins to do this. Now in the beginning of the movie, again, you do not see any inclination of this. He's just this actor that is going through some shit, right? But this is what I spoke about before with the subconscious mind, memory, the moon rules over memory. And when you do so much, you begin to lose yourself in your own creations to the point where you don't remember who you are. So when I speak about how like Pisces are in those positions at work, right? Those scenarios at work to where it's like, you're above this, you're bigger than this, you're a 9, dude. You're a 9. Like, you can create your own world to exist and live in, right? This is the epitome of creativity, raw vision and creativity with Pisces. However, they find themselves within the confines of structures that don't not necessarily serve them. Now, in the movie, it's like he designed this shit anyway. So he finds himself in scenarios inside of places that he designed anyway. But he designed it from the standpoint of a number 9 or a God, from a creator standpoint, not the creation and the participants of creativity, right? So, but his curiosity drives him into playing roles of the characters that he designed himself. You know what I'm saying? He actually designed the characters and the actresses, the actors inside of this movie so he can interact with them as well. Because in the end, he tears up, he starts crying to Melissa McCarthy in the end, and he was like, you're my favorite, because he had to leave. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you're my favorite. So he designed her from the beginning to be able to participate and interact with her. But as he gets involved, he does not remember who the fuck he is. You know what I'm saying? Prime example of what I've been explaining with Pisces and stuff like that. So throughout the movie, this thing becomes more clear the more that it goes through it. But in the beginning, you don't actually know. So Melissa McCarthy and Hope Davis, they're like competing with each other to grab his attention and his time. You know what I mean? So in one scenario, he's the actor, right? In another scenario, now he's an actor. Melissa McCarthy is the publicist that grabs him and puts him back on the right path. Hope Davis, I believe Hope Davis is who I'm talking about. Yeah, but the other woman, she is the neighbor, the next door neighbor. She's rich, she's attractive, comes on to him and everything. So she's playing tug of war with Melissa McCarthy for his time and attention. So Pisces, you can find yourself in this role a lot, I'm pretty sure, to where you're the light of the party, or you're that enigma, or you're that person over there, that mysterious person over there in the corner who people want to gravitate towards because you're different. So they might start performing and doing all types of different antics in order to get your attention. So it's entertaining to you, but at the same time, you got to figure out what role you play in these people's lives, right? You got to figure that out. How are you the actor in their lives? You know what I'm saying? So in the movie, these two women, they go at it on the sidelines, like, yo, he's going to find out who he really is, and then he's going to be mad at you for not telling him, because you just want to take up all of his time and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it happens. He finds out who he is. But Melissa McCarthy, I guess out of guilt tripping, feels that she needs to break the news to him after Hope Davis told her, like, yo, you need to fucking tell him. You know what I'm saying? Or he's going to resent you for not telling him. So she breaks down, tells him, and he's like, this shit is fucking crazy, but I don't fucking believe you. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, yo, look, if you leave, right, if you check out, these are words that she used, check out. And this is a short disclaimer. Don't off yourself after watching this video or after watching the movie The 9's. And I say that because when they use the terminology check out, you question this shit. Like, yo, is Ryan Reynolds going to fucking kill himself? You know what I'm saying? And this is where the suffering part, the sad suffering part of Pisces comes into play, because it's like, the reason why you ponder on this is because here he is, the creator of the universe, and he finds himself in plenty of situations where he has to remove himself from because he's too attached or he's too involved. His ego is involved now. And he doesn't want to necessarily leave. And in the same breath, the players, the participants, the humans, they don't really want him to leave either. However, they know that in the script, there comes a time where he has to leave in order for evolution to take place, in order for transformation to take place. But they don't want him to check out completely. So it's sad. It's a fucking oxymoron. Depends on who you asking. Like, I feel like this is the sad part, but this is definitely, in Pisces, you will be able to identify with the sadness of the suffering that comes with this in your isolation periods when you isolate, Pisces, because it's like, he says, they put it to him like, are you going to leave now? Are you going to leave now, right? Or you have to leave, whatever case may be. So he's pondering like, nah, I don't have to leave. But if I leave, you know what I'm saying, then this thing blows up. Melissa McCarthy tells him, like, if you leave, this thing goes to oblivion. The shit burns in eternal hell, and there's no more of us. So we would like if you don't completely check out, because that means we have no reason for existing anymore, because it's your fucking creation. You know what I'm saying? But if you stay in certain scenarios, you overstay. You spend too much time. So it's a fucking mind fucking. And he's just like, damn. So he's like, but he's still not quite believing her, because his memory is not jogged to the point of where he remembers totally who the fuck he is. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, I don't fucking believe you. But in the end, he's like, you know what? I hear what you're saying. Yeah, this thing goes to shit if I leave, but I don't think it actually turns out that way. I think that I'm going to be sad for all of you should I check out, or when I check out, because the human condition will just off itself. You guys will eat each other. You guys will fucking kill each other without me. Because this is what he said, exact words. He said, you humans like to kill each other a lot. So he becomes saddened by this, like, damn, I gotta separate from my own creation, but I know the human condition. This is where the rose-colored glasses off of Pisces comes off, and he's just like, the world is going to go to shit. Like, you guys are shit without me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need me to intervene and make you involved and attached to me in some type of way in order for this thing to keep carrying itself out and make sense. And Melissa McCarthy even suggested to that as well. She was like, well, we just need to feel involved. We just need to feel attached to you in some type of way for this thing to keep making sense for us as well. Because they're like, as the humans, as the sevens, they're going to go on with their everyday lives anyway. And they may go on continuously, repetitiously, with no care about, how it's going to end up, or whether it's going to end up shitty or whatever the case may be. They're just thrilled to be in the fucking play, in the movie. You know what I'm saying? But him, on the other hand, keeps finding himself in situations where he gets outed, or has to be, it's either he gets outed because he's not in full control of his creation, which Pisces, we spoke about this before, when like people try to intervene and like change your artwork and your artistic endeavors, and you're like, wait a minute, this is my shit. Like, you can't control my shit. He's either outed because of that, or he's outed because the people that he's attached himself to become a hindrance in his ability to transform and evolve into the next dimension, or get into the next part of life where he's supposed to play a role and have different characters attached onto him. Right? So it's kind of like when we talk about real life scenarios, when you find yourself in positions, or situations rather, where you have to refrain from interacting with a person or groups of people, or interacting in certain places in order to evolve or get to the next plateau in life. You see this being acted out in this part of the film. So it's like, okay, in the beginning he was an actor, right? In the next part, he becomes a writer, right? Another Piscean profession. He becomes a writer, where he gets to design and write up characters, to where he writes a movie, a script with Melissa McCarthy in mind. In this scenario, she's not his publicist, she's his best friend. Not only that, he put her on in career-wise. Like, he wrote her first joint, her first, showing or role that she got involved in that launched her career. He wrote a couple of more after that catapulted her career-wise. So this next pilot that he wrote with her in mind as well. So what happens is, when he gets to the TV executives, he starts passing over some of the creative control. And you can see this happening when they're suggesting little small things here and there. They're inching their way into it, right? And he's noticing how he's losing ground on his own creation, right? But this is a creation inside of the creation, which is the universe. but the one that he decided to participate in, I guess out of curiosity, boredom, whatever the fuck, right? And he's losing creative control, and it gets to the point where they're like, well, listen, we spoken to the other producers, to the higher ups, and they're like, well, we gotta lose the whole, talking about Melissa McCarthy, we gotta find a way to get rid of her. We need someone else to play the leading role, because the audience, they're not really latching on to her. They're looking for this person who did this well in this show over here. The audience is gravitating. This is what they like about her. If we was just to get her over on this show, I think it'd be fucking fantastic. It'd be great. And he's like, no, I can't do this. It's not sitting well with him, because that's his fucking friend. And mind you, this is a character that he keeps designing. This is his favorite character in the universe. You know what I'm saying? He's like, no, I can't do that. And he's like, well, come on, you want your show to be on air, right? So this shows how Pisces, or when Pisces is not in control of their own artistic endeavors, they hand it over to the grips of something more Capricornian or earthy like, and they're not in the position to actually make the call that says, well, fuck you, this is my creation, this is my shit, she's gonna play the fucking role that I wrote for her because it's my shit, or I'll fire you. Doesn't have the ability to do so, right? So he's like, all right, I'm gonna let her go. I'm gonna tell her. I'm not gonna let you guys call her or like fucking do it through an answer machine. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna tell her. So he goes and he tells her, intense scene, right? He's like, yo, I gotta let you go because the network. And she's like, oh, really? Well, it's the network's fault, right? It's not your fault, right? And he's like, no, it's the network. And he was like, so they get into a heated argument, whatever the case may be. And he's like, but not for nothing, I wrote your first role, I got you to where you're at. You wouldn't be where you're at without me anyway. And she's like, oh, yeah, it's fuck you. I was just waiting for you to pull that card. You know what I'm saying? So we're not really friends, right? You just act like we're friends when you need somebody to go out with, or have a drink with, or have a fucking meal with, when your date falls through or doesn't fall through. You know what I'm saying? You don't get your hot piece of ass for the night. So then you call me, and then, they get into it. Intense scene. Great fucking movie, right? But he's like, damn, nah. It's not that, it's just, I want my show to be on television, and, I gave you other breaks, you know what I'm saying? Which was, again, her competitor putting that in his ear, right? Now, in the end of this scenario, or this dimension, the person who whispered that in his ear to go against his own friend ends up fucking him in the end anyway. The one that they switched the leading role for ends up not taking the role, ends up going back to her old show, which gets an extended season. And the person who offset this situation, which is Melissa McCarthy's competitor for his time anyway, knew this all along. But because she was in a position to get him to stop fucking with Melissa McCarthy so much, so that he can evolve into the next dimension, or whatever it is that he wanted to create next, did it for those reasons, and also did it to show him that you are not in control of your own fucking creation, which she says to him at the end. And he gets very egotistical and very involved. And I spoke about how Pisces do well when they surrender. They don't get too involved into the place where they can't let it go. Like, you got to be able to step back from your own creation to see if it's valid enough to even continue going to the next plateau. He did not do that as this writer. He got very heated at the end. He even smacked this broad in the mouth like, fuck you, you bitch. You got my show canceled. And she was like, oh, so you feel like a man now? But guess what? You're not. And that was the trigger to let him know. This was the happening in the movie to let all of us know that when you're not in control of your own destiny, when you're not in control of your own creativity, then you don't remember who the fuck you are, Pisces. So this was definitely a great point in the film as well. So, he plays another role in this film as well, another dimension that he's in, right? And this is where it gets sad, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? But the last dimension, he's actually playing the husband of Melissa McCarthy. Remember, this is his favorite character that he designed. Playing the husband of her. They have a daughter together who is mute. And he gets lost. They get lost in the woods, or whatever the case may be. But it's inside of a movie that he actually wrote. This is when he played the scene as the writer. this is the show that he was writing that Melissa McCarthy got fired from. You know what I'm saying? But now he's actually playing the role of the husband in that movie that he wrote. And now he's a video game designer. So the battery goes dead in the car, whatever the case may be. He leaves off to go find some help so he can get the battery jumped and get them back on the road, get his family back to wherever they're going, right? During this time, he runs into Melissa McCarthy's competitor, another character that he designed to participate in the universe with, right? So the same shit plays out. She fucks him over, gets him to hallucinate. First, gets him to come on to her. Now, mind you, he's married to Melissa McCarthy in this situation, right? Gets her to come on. She comes on to him, gets him, seduces him. He kisses her, everything. They're in the woods. Makes him hallucinate from some water that he drinks, makes him pass out. He's like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And he's like, because you are letting this bitch prevent you from getting to the next dimension. You're spending too much time with her. You have overstayed your welcome. You are a fucking 9. Act like a fucking 9. You know what I'm saying? She didn't use those words, but this is what you pick up from the interaction that they have in this point. So he finally gets it. He comes to the realization. He's like, you know what? I fucking get it now. You guys are right. I'm a fucking 9. Okay, I understand now. Now he remembers who he is. And he's like, you know what? Fuck that. He goes back to the car. And, you know, while he's at the car, the little girl, their daughter, their acting daughter, right? It's just like, Daddy's not coming back, because she starts watching the video placement of the shooting of the scene that they were doing in the previous scenario, in the previous dimension, when he was the writer, right? And she's like, Daddy's not coming back. But he's like, fuck that, I'm a number 9. He realizes who he is. He comes back, puts them in the car. All of a sudden the car works now. Nothing's wrong with the battery. Puts them back on the road. They get on the road. They get home. So, you know, he's laying in bed with Melissa McCarthy, and he's like, yeah, I own this shit. This is what I want. This is what I designed. These are the characters I want him to be with. This is my life. I don't have to fucking leave. But he's sitting there and he's pondering in bed, and he's like, fuck. So you can tell, like, he's like, damn, I do gotta leave, don't I? So he gets up. He's pacing the living room and shit. Melissa McCarthy comes in. She's like, yo, you know, she's tearing up. He begins to tear. She's like, you're gonna leave, aren't you? You're leaving, aren't you? And he's like, nah, I'm not leaving. And she's like, you know, but you got to, though. You know what I'm saying? Don't you? Like, you come to realization, come to the terms, like, you gotta leave, don't you? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's sad in that aspect, because it's like, okay, he designed something that was great. He spent time with his favorite character, spent time with characters that he loved, that he designed. But it's like, dude, excuse me, you're a 9, so you got to keep elevating. You got to keep reinventing yourself to become something more, or to create something new, so that more characters or new characters can attach themselves into you. And in some instances, if we look at it from an astrological perspective, we can say, okay, different people come in the forms of the same signs, and then you can interact with, it's still the same characteristics that's attached to these souls, but they're just through different people, so that we can feel like it's a newer experience, but it's really just the same thing being enacted in different scenarios according to the 9's design. You know what I mean? But in the movie, it's presented in a way that it's just different dimensions with different scenarios, instead of changing the characters around. You understand what I'm saying? But it gets sad at this point. Now, in the movie, it doesn't show you how Ryan Reynolds checks out. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of really enjoyed that part of it. You don't know if he committed suicide. All you know is that he just left that situation. He left that scenario on his own reconnaissance. He took control of it totally in that instance. He didn't leave it to the devices of another entity, or whatever the case may be. He made the decision on his own to remove himself from that. So this can be isolation, Pisces, in which we tend to do. We check out. You know what I'm saying? We check out. And, you know, despite that the 7s and whoever, if you are attaching this to your own lives, Pisces out there, the humans, they're going to miss you when you isolate, or when you remove yourself from their lives, in whatever way that you have to, in order to create new stuff, and have even sometimes the same people become part of your life, but on a different level, if they should evolve with you in that light. But if not, you like evolve into a new creation or a new dimension with new actors and actresses. But if you notice this in your own life, just become aware and be conscious that your checking out may just be isolation, may be removing your ego from being too heavily involved with situations that no longer warrant your stay, no longer warrant that type of energy being put into it, to where you are the creator, you are the designer, and the players in your life, they know that. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to push it to the point to where they have to actually nudge you, Pisces, and say, it's time to go. Because you created this shit. But if you become too egotistically involved and let your ego take over, you can lose your memory and lose your mind in the process and be like, don't even know that you designed all of this shit anyway. Like, you're not the loser. You're not the fucked up one. Like, they're just telling you what you should already know, Pisces, is that, okay, Cain saw conquered. I'm out on to the next thing, on to the next creation, on to the next dimension jump. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, checking out can mean isolation pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Or jumping onto something new. So you don't have to feel like you gave up on people, Pisces. You don't have to feel like you gave up on situations. It's just you participated out of your curiosity, out of wanting to be a part of your creation. And everyone should understand that. You know what I'm saying? And if not, they should evolve to dimension jump with you, so to speak. You understand what I'm saying? Now, that part wasn't actually shown in the movie directly, but you can kind of get the gist of that's what it was as well, because these characters kept popping up in every scenario that he became a part of. So it's pretty much what I got on that. I felt the need to put the movie The 9's out there to help clarify and assist in clarifying the subconscious mind of what we've been talking about already. Definitely Piscean, definitely good looks about the subconscious mind, how your memory, if when too egotistical, like when you mix the moon and the sun to a level where one gets the best of the other, then you lose grasp of what it is that you actually set out to do, you intended to do in the first place. So that's explained in the movie. Get the movie, check it out. It's a great movie. You'll see all the points that I made. You might even pick up on things that I've overlooked or did not discuss in this video. If so, get in the comment box. Let me know if you have seen this movie already. Let me know how you feel about it as well. Let me know if I nailed it when I pinpointed the stuff that I was talking about. All right, y'all. I'm out.